from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, March 5th. So today we have the moon in Taurus energy going void, of course, at 5:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be locking into Gemini energy at 7:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this is very important because the minute that we edge into this Gemini energy, we're already kind of in this first quarter moon lunar phase that will be popping off March 6th in this Gemini energy. So again, as we're kind of building towards some of these important lunar cycle points, the energy builds, the intensity builds. And again, if you don't have your new moon Pisces manifesting guide in front of you, you should probably get that. We are edging into the second manifesting stage. And of course, that new moon in Pisces totally rocked us all. We were all kind of flip-floppy, hella emotional, super intuitive. We weren't really making a whole hell of a lot of sense of things. This first quarter moon in Gemini energy that rules over the mental plane definitely going to put things into perspective. So anytime that the moon is shifting out of Taurus energy and into Gemini energy, it's always welcomed because, of course, the Taurus energy, being a fixed earth sign, has us very stuck in the physical body, in the present moment, very aware of our physical environment, our physical circumstances. And of course, we were trying to orient to the positive side of things and kind of lean into the creature comforts to make ourselves feel safe and secure and stable. But the Gemini energy takes us out of the physical form, pushes us up into the headspace, and we start weighing the pros and cons of some of the choices that are on the table for us to make. We're weighing the pros and cons with the path, the direction, the options, the opportunities that are currently presenting themselves to us. And so again, it's a lighter vibe. Air energy always is, and it's a mutable energy, meaning it's time to change. It's time to improve. It's time to adjust. And it all starts with our mental plane. We have to make the changes in our head space before we can make them in our heart space, and the heart and head have to be in alignment before we can engage the physical body to take action, make moves in the physical world. And so again, there's going to be this rapid processing of thought first, Gemini energy, emotion second, Pisces season. So we are going to see a major shift, major change, not only in our perspective, not only in our mood and our attitude, but with some of the things that we're actually pouring our time, energy, and attention into. That being said, there are 11 different aspects taking place here today. 10 of those aspects are going to involve the moon. So with the moon still in Taurus energy, we are going to semi-square, create a little bit of tension with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, who rules over that Taurus energy, who happens to be retrograde in Aries energy. So of course, this isn't going to feel good. It's not supposed to. We're having a major change in our heart space, a major pivot point in our heart space where our worth, our wants, needs, desires are changing. And because of that, there's a lot of ugly emotions rising to the surface of our awareness in order for us to figure out what needs to be done about it. And of course, Venus's whole retrograde is about us moving into the underworld, really getting down to the nitty-gritty, dissolving the old version of self so that this new version of self with new wants, needs, and desires can rise to the surface of your awareness. If you want to do a deep dive into Venus's retrograde, I do have a astro class over on my Patreon, totally devoted to this particular retrograde. You can do a deep dive and kind of see where this is taking place in your chart and piece together Venus's last retrograde story, which of course was in 2023, taking place in the heart and soul of the zodiac in Leo energy. We're in Aries energy now, so there is an identity shift going on. We are definitely being pressurized to see who it is that we had to be, who it is that we currently are, and who it is now that we're desiring in becoming. The moon in Taurus then going to make a beautiful interaction with the sun, of course, in Pisces energy. We love Pisces and Taurus energy working together because, of course, whatever it is that we can dream up in the Pisces energy, we're able to actually bring it to life, materialize it through that Taurus energy, applying logic and practicality, seeing where it is that new foundations, new structures need to be made in order to actually house the goals, the visions, the dreams that we're excited to actually pursue. anytime that the sun and the moon are coming together, there's going to be an aha moment. There's going to be a light bulb moment. There's going to be an epiphany on what we want, what we need, what we desire, and what we actually have to do to get it. Now, granted, we are in the more positive side of Pisces season at this particular juncture. So we're looking for inspiration. We are looking for creative solutions. We are looking to heal. We are looking to just kind of build ourselves up in a much better way. The moon in Taurus giving us a grounded, anchored approach to really being aware of the physical body, of the physical form, what is working, what is not. And from that, again, we can rapidly process emotions, perspectives to kind of wrap things up, come to a certain term of acceptance with what needs to end and die in order for us to have the space to clear the slate for us to build something new. So this is going to be a pivotal point where we are starting to see, again, the forest past the trees, where we're starting to gain a little bit of clarity on where it is that we want to go from here and what is in our way. Therefore, that goes on the to-do list of things that we need to wrap up, provide endings and closures to, in order for us to pour all of our time, energy, and attention into building the new. The moon in Taurus then going to sextile, which is a beautiful interaction with first the North Node in Pisces, second Neptune in Pisces, because of course the North Node and Neptune, they're sitting very closely together in this Pisces energy, and we are nearing the final degrees of this Pisces energy. So again, there's like an infusion, renewing our heart space, our soul space, kind of refreshing our hopes, our wishes, our dreams. Now that first interaction with that North Node and Pisces, of course, is showing us where it is that we're moving on, moving forward, where it is that we're feeling well equipped, well prepared to grow, to heal, to kind of push through the challenges, the obstacles that we know we're going to face, while trying to close the door upon some people, places, and things that our old version of self was very connected to, so that we can start building this new realm, this new reality that not only looks good, but that feels good because we're resonating with our higher self. We are consciously creating the realm and reality that we want to be living in. So that North Node is opening us up to see where it is that we can go from here. We are very futuristically focused, and we're recognizing the options and the opportunities that we have to move on and move forward. Now, the interaction with Neptune, again, it's a beautiful one. Neptune being in his rulership in this Pisces energy, this is our dreams, this is our creativity, this is the healing energy, this is inspiration being infused in our heart and our soul space. And we, at this particular juncture, are operating from a grounded perspective, moon in Taurus, to actually kind of dabble in la la land, to kind of give ourselves permission to tap into our imagination, to kind of see where it is that we're being guided, where it is that we're being pulled. There is a new calling, new mission, new purpose unfolding before us. And at this particular juncture, we're feeling pretty solid that we have what it takes to do what needs to be done to make this major pivot and embark on this new path in this new direction. 5:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon is going to go void, of course. We sit in that void until 7:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon shifts into Gemini energy. 8:09 a.m., we have Mercury, who rules over that Gemini energy, Mercury fresh in this Aries energy. There's a lot of pressure in the headspace, a lot of urgency going on, a lot of big ideas that we want to kind of take action, make moves upon that, again, probably don't have the support to actually do at this particular juncture. Anywho, we have Mercury in this Aries energy sextiling, which is a beautiful interaction, with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is in Aquarius energy. So this tells me, A, there's going to be a major pressure, major focus on our headspace. Why? Because Pluto peels back the layers of whatever it is that is junking up our view. There are hidden information, hidden details rising to the surface of our awareness. Now, are they new? Probably not. They've probably been in our face this whole time. We just haven't had the eyes to see or the ears to hear, so to speak. And now there is going to be this revelation of information that puts us on a different path, puts us on in a different direction. Now, Pluto also wants us to investigate. So now we're getting little golden nuggets, if you will, of ideas that we need to explore, different methodologies that we could adopt. We have to try something new in order to create a different result. This is very much putting us in a situation where, again, we are starting to see a little bit of clarity. We aren't seeing the full picture, of course. And this particular energy is going to encourage us to put the detective hat on, to do a little bit more digging and get down to the nitty gritty of what is actually going on in our lives, what's going on in our head space, what's going on in our heart space, what we need to do to fix, heal, resolve some of these issues, some of these problems, so that we can start building towards something new. Again, Aries energy and Aquarius energy, that's fire and air. So there's going to be a spark, a fire, a flame, a combustion, a light bulb moment, an aha moment that is definitely going to have us kind of focus on different options, opportunities for us to explore, for us to experiment in, again, in order to create a different result. The moon in Gemini energy going to semi-square Mars. Mars being the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, even our anger. He's now direct. He's still not up to snuff, but he is direct. He is in Cancer energy, which is not his favorite place to be, mostly because he can't take action and make moves in the way that he would like, because all of this Cancer energy is emotionally and intuitively prompting what needs to be done, specifically with cutting things out, detaching, closing the door upon certain things so that we can stabilize our inner realm of emotion. Now, that being said, we are trying to build, cultivate new fire, spark, flame, new motivation, determination on what needs to be done and what we need to see through. However, this is a semi-square. It's not going to feel good, which means that we are going to kind of tap into frustration, tap into anger, tap into this defense mechanism that we all seem to kind of tap into when we're not seeing things go our way. And so emotionally speaking, there is a buzz because the moon is in this Gemini energy, flip-flopping back and forth, trying to see things from all angles, all perspectives. But at the same time, Mars, he's kind of drowning in that Cancer energy. He is an eager beaver. He just wants to break out of this Cancer energy so that, again, he can get it in alignment with his heart space when he moves into that Leo energy eventually. And we can start kind of tapping into the boldness, the bravery, the courage that we're going to need in order to kind of blaze a new path, moving on and moving forward. The moon in Gemini then going to trine, which is a beautiful interaction, with Pluto, the great transformer, in this Aquarius energy. So this is air on air action, and we love this. There's going to be a lot going on in our headspace. There's going to be a lot of revelations, a lot of aha moments, and a lot more willingness to do a deep dive in our headspace to see where it is that some negative ass narratives are very much holding us back, restricting us, limiting us from seeing the greater, grander picture. And of course, we have all of the power, all of the control, all of the authority being lent to us by Mr. Pluto to flip the script. Because he's in Aquarius energy, we're very, very focused on where it is that we would like to end up. And because the moon is in Gemini energy, we have to break it up into smaller, much more manageable pieces so that we can see what we have power and control over in the finer details in this present moment, in the here and now, to improve, to adjust, to change, to transform, to help align us with the futuristic goal, vision, and dream that, again, we're very eager beaver to actually start pursuing. The moon is then going to sextile Mercury. So Mercury rules over this Gemini energy that the moon is in. Mercury is in Aries energy. Again, this is air and fire, so there's going to be a spark. The moon being our heart space and our emotions, the mercurial energy, of course, very focused on the head space. Our heart and our head are on the same page. They're working together. They're trying to gain a little bit of momentum, a little bit of clarity on what we can take action on, what we can take moves on in this present moment, as small as they may be, to actually set us up for this greater, grander goal that we're now trying to kind of make some progress towards. Now, where communication is concerned, again, Mercury in this Aries energy, a little bit hot to trot, doesn't usually use the filter that we should all be using at this particular juncture. Therefore, verbal vomit is likely a possibility. And so with the moon in Gemini energy, of course, we're asking a lot of questions. Curiosity is definitely leading this particular charge. And Mercury being in the Aries energy, eager beaver wants to take action on all these new ideas, even though we're really not being supported in doing so. So we definitely have to pace ourselves, manage our energy, mind our P's and Q's coming out of our mouth just to make sure that they aren't aggressive and being projected in a way that we don't really mean. There is a high probability of miscommunication, misunderstanding, because of course we're building towards a Mercury retrograde. So definitely be mindful of that. The moon in Gemini then going to make a beautiful interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, and discipline. Of course, he is in Pisces energy, trying to dissolve the old world, the old false belief system, the old structures that, again, the old version of self has built and created. Now, this is mutable energy working together. Gemini energy is mutable. Pisces energy is mutable. Mutability means that things are changing rapidly. Our emotions are changing. Our headspace is changing. What we need to do in our physical realm is changing. The goals that we have are changing. And of course, that requires us to be open-minded and open-hearted. Now, Saturn, typically speaking, brings in a little bit of a reality check. This isn't going to be a harsh one because this is a favorable aspect. However, we're seeing things a lot more clearly than we were earlier in the day, especially compared to the past weeks. We have Mr. Saturn bringing a little bit of organization, not only to our thoughts, but to our emotions, trying to get them in alignment so that, again, we're being prepped and prepared to take action and make moves when the mind-body-soul equation is in balance and supporting us to actually make said moves. The moon in Gemini then going to semi-square Chiron. So Chiron being the wounded healer, of course, he's in Aries energy. This is air and fire, but it's not being aspected in the greatest way, which means that a spark, a fire, a flame has the potential to burn us down. Now, here's the thing. Chiron being the wounded healer, when he's aspected in not the greatest way, such as this, we kind of focus on the wounds instead of the healing. So this is a particular point in time where when we just gained all of that clarity, all of those realizations, when we were getting organized between our heart and our head, suddenly the ego programming kicks in. Suddenly, we're speaking fears into a lot of the dreams that we had. We're coming up with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We're coming up with the ifs, ands, and buts. This is definitely not a great energy to feel strong and powerful in. However, it is going to illuminate to us where it is that some negative ass narratives need a little bit more time and attention for us to flip the script so that, again, they're not holding us back. The last aspect that we have going on here today is the moon in Gemini energy making a beautiful interaction with that North Node in Pisces. So this is beautiful because it puts us in a better mind state, especially coming out of that aspect with Chiron. And it puts us in a situation where we're thinking futuristically. We're thinking about where we have options and opportunities to grow up, to kind of grow through what we're going through, to heal certain parts of self. We are surrendering, because that's what the North Node in Pisces needs us to do, is surrendering to the process, trusting that we're on the right path, trusting ourselves, trusting the universe, trusting that, again, as long as we are staying in alignment with our higher selves, listening to our heart space, listening to our soul space, that again, we are going to be on the right path and we are going to end up exactly where it is that we need to be.